Hello and welcome to the Build with Baer Workshop. My name is Pat Baer. I'm here to work on a model kit. I'm also here to hang out with all of you. And I'm going to start things off by throwing the Bear Cave, the Lego to the site, the tier 2 blue emote in the chat. If you are currently a subscriber, you can reply with those emotes. If you are not yet a subscriber, you can say hi. You can use other people's emotes. And if you feel like being a lurker, well, that's okay. You can just lurk and that's a fine thing. If you just want to hang out and not say anything. It's a Thursday. I've got the model kit that I'm working on, the Gundam Ez-SR, which was bought off my Amazon wish list. Thank you very much, Lynn. Lashbrook is here. Hello, Lashbrook. So yeah, we're working on that. We're also going to hang out, talk about some things and things. This is my last stream in this room for a while until like right in the beginning of May. I'm going to still be streaming. That's not the reason why I won't be in this room. It's just that I'm going to be able to move my stuff out of this room into the Carolina room or the bonus room in the house because my folks are going out of town for like a month. And while I could just continue to work in this room while sleeping and hanging out, why would I do that when instead I can move all my stuff to another room and have more space there, and then also only use this bedroom to like read manga on my iPad and like hang out. I don't have cable in this room, but I do have a Chromecast, so I can Chromecast stuff from my phone on YouTube onto the TV and just to relax like that. So like I'm just planning on having a pretty chill evenings in here. Like when I'm done streaming, come in here and kind of relax, streaming and working and all kinds of things, doing that and just like having a space for that's separate from the streams. Like the path to my door, like I don't know how to describe it. It's tight in here with this table that I use to build on. That is also my desk. I have a second table for my third monitor. I've got just like it's gonna be so nice to have my backlog be not in the corner of my bedroom. I'm so excited about that for a month to take this backlog and move it out of this room and put it in the Carolina room, just basically on the couch because I'm not going to really use that couch, and then just be able to like get the stuff I need when I need it. I'm very excited about that. After the stream tonight, I'll like take the overhead camera down. I'll start moving some stuff around. I'm not going to like move out of there tonight. I'm going to do it tomorrow, and then also have Saturday to get settled before Saturday night stream, because yeah, I'm not taking any streams off to do that. Let's go to the overhead camera. We are working on the Gundam Ez-SR, which eventually we'll have to decide what we want this to look like. I gotta resituate myself here, sorry. We'll figure out eventually we'll figure out if we want this to look a certain way. But right now, we're just building it identical, and then there are 3 variations, because basically, in the lore of Gundam Build Fighters Try, this is a trio, and they all adapted the Gundam EZ-8 into a different kit here, the SR, and then they each took like a variation. So there's slight differences. The heads are all different between the 3, and the backpacks are a little different, and the weapons are different. So at least the backpack on one is different. So like there are some differences. We will get to that when the time comes. But right now we can just build it as is. And then there is enough parts. Like they do have all 3 heads here. So you can build all the parts and mix and match if you want to like kit bash, or you can just, so I think we're going to build all 3 and then I'll decide which one I want to keep it as. I think that I'm going to do that probably. E11. So I think that's what I'm going to end up doing, is kind of just being like, okay, I like this of the 3. We'll keep it like this, but we'll build all of it. Now, if I wanted to, hey, Lord Crashington, welcome. If I wanted to, I could buy 2 more of these kits. This was bought off my Amazon wish list, so I could on my own go and get another one of these or 2 more of these, and then have a full set. But I don't need that. I don't care enough about that to do that, personally. You might want to. You might look at this and go, man, if you don't have all three, it's not worth it. Which like I don't necessarily agree with, but I do understand that sentiment. So you're like, oh no, I'd want to have all three. Like, yeah, if that's how you feel, then you can do you. Me, I'ma do me. I wonder if we use I don't think we use the original Easy 8 head, because a lot of these parts are going to be from that, like around 2014, like 2013 Easy 8 is like the base of this kit plus a bunch of extra new stuff that was added in. So I bet we don't even use this head. I bet we could modify it with the fourth head, which is of course the Easy 8 head. We could put that on there if we wanted to. That's kind of fun. I don't have any kit bashing plans on the horizon. We ended last year with the thing that I wanted to do more than anything, of course, which was to do that Centaur build, the 30-minute mission Centaur. I really wanted to do that. I'm glad we did that. That was a bucket list thing for building. So I'm glad we got to that. Really, I just want to build the kits in my collection. I've got a lot of good kits in there, and I'd like to build them. Let's panel line this, and then we'll put the hand on here, and then move on to the other arm, which is not identical, but it's similar, but not identical. I practiced a little bit of singing today because I can promote this. I gotta start really promoting this. February 6th, which is of course. As I panelize, I can talk about this. February 6th, which is a week from tomorrow, I will be doing my February subathon. I do 2 subathons a year, one of which is in February or the end of January, one of which is on my birthday, around my birthday. This is, of course, the first one here in February 6th, starting at 3:30 p.m. Eastern. If I get to 30 subscribers, currently we are at 25. The goal is to get up to 30 right now, 90 during the stream or before, I guess. Opening a box of useless trivia, a small Lego build, which is Star Wars theme, I'll tell you that. A Pokemon model kit, which is a small little Pokemon friend that we'll be assembling that I'm looking forward to working on. Karaoke, I practiced some karaoke today, a couple songs that I want to sing. Just trying to get the rhythms of that right so that I do an okay job with those. A tour of many mods in Fallout 4. This will be minimal playthrough. It'll just be to show off the nonsense. I've got a cheat menu thing in game. I've got all kinds of nonsense in here. Just unbelievably amounts of cool modded bullshit that we can show off, both for building and also just quality of life. A Joshi Wrestling Spotlight. If we get to 80 subscribers, this is a bunch of wrestling, some older, some modern women's Japanese wrestling that I just kind of want to show off. And then if we get 90 subs, I'll answer your question in a moment, Lashbrook. If we hit 90 subscribers, I will drink a full glass of Dr. Pilk. This size glass, but filled with a halfway with milk and the other half with Dr. Pepper. I bought a 20-ounce Dr. Pepper for that because I don't want to buy a 2-liter. And where I was buying it, they did not have individual cans because that would have been the most sense, just buy a can. So I bought 20 ounces, so I will finish the rest of it. After that is Mr. Pilk and Mr. Pibb. Yeah, I guess Pibb and milk. I don't know. Hopefully, I don't want to say hopefully. I don't know. I don't know what the heightening is. This is heightening because I kind of don't care too much. I don't care super much for Monster Energy drink, but I actively don't like Dr. Pepper. So I'm trying to get sodas I don't like mixed with milk as the new meta, and we'll see how that goes. And to answer Lashbrook's question, was the trivia always useless or is it just super old? No, so it's sold as, it is a box. You know what? Let me get it. Hold on. I'll be right back. Let me, I have it. Hold on. Okay, I had to get it. It is sold as delightfully useless trivia. And I have decided that we'll be the judge if this is delightful or not. 200 entertaining questions grouped into the most misleading categories imaginable. So they say this is useless. And I will believe them. They say it's delightful, and I don't know. But you can see here, I have apparently 200 cards here. We're not going to go through all of them. We are going to go through some of them, and we'll talk about them on stream. And then the idea is that eventually, like throughout the stream, I could go back to them. What was Al Capone's occupation according to his business card? That's in here, I guess. And what is the most common color for toilet paper in France? You know what? What is the most common color for toilet paper in France is useless trivia. I don't think that will be applicable for people, or at least me. So, yeah. So that's the thing. I got that for Christmas. I also got a little bonsai thing that I haven't worked on yet, but it's bonsai in a box. And I have not opened that yet because I wanted to. I don't know if and when I want to make it. So, but the useless trivia, I was like, that's fun. I will make that my okay, we can get to 30 thing. The softball, I guess you would say, because my assumption is we can hit 30 pretty easily. I mean, we're 25, right? So that's one batch of gifted subs or a few people individually chipping in on gifted subs, or people deciding to subscribe themselves. That also could do it. So in prep for that stream, I am practicing the 5 songs that I'll be singing. These are all songs that I like to sing on at karaoke. One of which I've only done in karaoke once, though, but I really liked it. It was a challenge. The last time I was at karaoke brunch, it was the first of the year, and they did a challenge where where the whole thing was the regulars. You could opt in to do it. It wasn't mandatory, but the regulars, myself included, other people picked songs for us to sing, and someone picked this song for me to sing. And I had never done it before, and luckily it's meant to be a duet, but there is a version that it makes it a solo song, and so I sang that, and I was like, oh, okay, this is now added to my rotation. But yeah, there's some fun songs. Some of them are songs that I have done previously on just karaoke streams, and some of them are songs I've done on Twitch Sing streams. So at least one of them, I'm not going to say what the songs are, but I'm going to say some of you could guess one of the songs on the list very easily. It would be shockingly easy for you to go, oh, I bet you're going to do this one. And it'd be yeah, I'm going to do that one. Yeah, but at least one of them is going to be unbelievably obvious. Based on previous song streams that I've done. But yeah, I'm looking for that. I've got all of my I've got all of the Joshi matches that I want to watch and talk about done or pulled and ready to go. I've got all the karaoke songs ready to go. I had to mess around. I've talked about this. No matter what I do, Fallout 4 only wants to open on my second monitor. I have monitor 1, which is where I play games because I can look like this, and it looks like I'm looking at the screen when I'm playing. And this is monitor 2, which means that I'm looking away. So I'm going to be playing Fallout 4, showcasing it, and then hopefully it'll help that I'm looking at chat, which I guess I'll have to move over here. It's a fucking pain in the ass. I can't get it captured on the monitor I want it to be captured on or to play. I can't get it to play on the monitor I want it to play on. Even when I unplugged every monitor, bought monitor 1, it did do that. And then when I went back to having more than one monitor, it didn't. It just went back to the monitor it likes. I can't figure it out. I have edited the INI file, if you're wondering. I have done that. It didn't fix it. It's fucking frustrating. So anyway, I had to make a new game capture for that. I had to do another capture for the game. Also, Fallout 4 does not want to be EXE captured. It does not want to be window captured. It only wants to be display captured. So I have to capture the monitor that it plays in, which is very fucking annoying. But at the very least, borderless does work. If I hit escape, then I can move my mouse to one of my other monitors. So that's good. That is an important element of it. So we have that going for us, which is nice. So I've done the only thing I haven't done, the one thing that I don't have prepped. Oh, Hearthstone. I have some decks that I like playing. I have some decks I haven't played since the mini set came out, or on stream. I haven't played them on stream since the mini set came out, so they're fairly new. I don't have anything like brand new. I was messing around with one deck, but turns out I don't really particularly like it. There's a weapon that on the turn you play it has infinite attack, but you can't attack your opponent's face. So you play that card, play a pirate that has the same attack as your weapon, and then give that minion charge or play a card that copies it. There was a deck out there. Someone's trying to make it work. I was trying. I couldn't get it to work, but I was trying. Anyway, so I have that stuff done. The only thing I don't have done for the stream yet is commercials. I have now played through all of the old video game commercials and demos from No Clips repository from in previous streams. I've gone through all of them, so I have to now hunt for some stuff. And I think did I say old video game commercials on this one? Because if I promised that, old gaming commercials, okay, I did promise that. Because I was thinking that this could be the stream where I change that into something else. But I've already said old gaming commercials, so that'll be a change for my summer one, my birthday subathon. We'll like switch to like Toonami like commercials or promo things, right? Something like that. We'll do something like that. So I need to find old video game commercials and demos and stuff before the stream kicks off, which should not be too hard to do. I'm fairly confident I can pull that off. All right, so I need G2 and G2 2 and G2 10. But otherwise, my stream is ready. I am prepared for a week from tomorrow. And then, of course, reminder, no stream a week from this Saturday, because that's going to be like a 4-hour stream probably. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. Oh, and once again, just as a reminder, I will be stopping whatever I'm doing to go get the drink, the Dr. Pilk. I will go and get that. Everything else is like cumulative. Like, if I'm working on the Pokemon and we model kit and we unlock karaoke, I'm not going to stop working on the model kit and start singing. I'm going to finish the model kit and then sing. And if there's like time, then that's Hearthstone time. That's whatever. Maybe we'll do some cast and chill. That is another thing we can do if that comes up. Like we've got some options for things, depending on how things go with the stream. I don't know, but at the very least, we'll get through all that stuff. And the one thing is, like, if I'm showing Joshi and we hit the goal and it's time for me to sing, then or not time for me to drink, then I'll pause the Joshi, go get something to drink, or I'll play it and then just walk and get something to drink. You know, that also could work. And just for a moment, not do like commentary over it. All right, so we got this together. We got this together. This goes in like this. We're getting there, folks. We're making some good progress on this kit. We do have to get this through here. Oh, one on there. All right, we'll get that together. All right, that's looking good. What else we need? Okay. Is there anything else I wanted to say? I don't know. Nothing really different as far as the streams go. Obviously, taking a Saturday off doing that's going to be the big difference for February. But other than that, me being in another room, dropped not drop frames, but having our kilobytes like fluctuate. That should be way better. It's less frequent. Things should just look better in general because I will have a wired internet connection instead of using the Wi-Fi booster that I'm using. Because I will be one of the big reasons why I'm in that room is so that I can have the opportunity to have a wired internet connection, direct wired internet connection, which is kind of all I really want. Like I just want to have a nice stable internet connection. So that'll be nice. And I might even I can't hit settings. I might even increase the bit rate. I might increase my output bit rate. Right now we're at 3,000 kilobytes, so it fluctuates to like 31. I might increase that to 4,000 because we'll have a nice stable internet connection. So it might even look a little better. It'll make bigger files on the back end for me, but that won't matter because I'll have a way faster upload. I should say this. My upload speed wired isn't much better than wireless. Really, it's better, but it's not like unbelievably like night and day better. What really happens is that it's just it's consistent, right? It is unbelievably stable, and therefore things upload quicker, which is really nice. And the download is going to be far superior. And I'm also hearing, I'm going to try this out. Apparently, some Ethernet cables can go bad over time, which I've never run into because I think I snap the connector on them too often before they go bad. So I'm going to use the Ethernet cable I normally use out there, which I use for when I plug in my laptop to the TV in the Carolina room so my dad can watch football via Amazon Prime with the laptop plugged in the TV. I'm going to try that cable, and then I'm going to try another cable I don't use that often and see if there is a difference. If SpeedTree is like, yeah, this is way better, buddy. What were you doing otherwise? And I don't know. All right, so do we want a hand that holds stuff or a hand that doesn't hold stuff? So let's find the one that holds stuff. That's going to be 31. So 30, 31. I think hold stuff. What about 36? No, 34 and 35. What's 35 look like? All right, we'll try this one. I like using the hands where my model kit can hold things. It makes me happy. So we'll see. I think this is one that means that this can hold some stuff. That's what I prefer. Because if it's got weapons, I want it to be able to hold them weapons. Yeah, this will hold some weapons. Okay. I don't know if there's anything else to talk about with that. I originally planned to record my next episode of Pat Bear's Anime Club on tonight, but I got held up with some last minute work that I needed to do for other obligations, paid work. So I'm going to record tomorrow or maybe Saturday, but I got to get done at least I could do it on Sunday, but then on Sunday I'd have to put it together, lightly edit it, and then upload it. And I don't really want to do that on Sunday. Although uploads will be faster now. I still don't think I want to do that. We'll see. But I can record it tomorrow. I was going to record it tonight just to give myself a break tomorrow so I wouldn't have to do it, but we'll do it. I'm prepped for it. I think it's going to be a good Pat Bear's Anime Club. Some people like it, like the Pat Bear's Anime Clubs, where I talk about stuff that makes me unhappy in anime, and I try not to just be a fully negative channel, right? Like, I don't want, like, Kuma Baer is obviously very positive, so I do like Anime Club to be positive when I can, but it also is fun to just be like, yeah, I want to talk about these things that I don't like. So that's going to be the topic. Will be a negative one, but I think it still should be a good video. I honestly just to make sure that I don't talk for like 45 minutes about it. Things that are making me mad and with these anime, because if I am given the opportunity, I certainly could talk too much. Let's look at some news of the world of the worldo. Let's see. Concept is over. That is an independent studio that formed in 2010 by Kenji Inafune, I should say. An independent studio, which was after the cancellation of Mega Man Legends 3. It was Concept, that, of course, made Mighty Number 9. And eventually, in 2017, it was acquired by Level 5. And in 2024, Inafune left. And they actually put out a video game in 2025 with someone new at the helm. The RPG Fantasy Life I, The Girl Who Steals Time, had came out, and apparently people liked it a lot. But Inafune had left, and then they dissolved the studio, which is weird. It was a weird little independent studio. Again, it did get acquired, so it wasn't independent for long. And that was a Japanese studio, of course. And now it is fully it was fully encompassed within Level 5. No word on if there were any layoffs or firings, or if everyone just got moved into other Level 5 development teams. But that studio no longer exists. We do know that. I don't have that information. We do have that. This is a bit of a shame. I don't think Mighty Number 9 was ever that good. I don't think they ever got it to where they had, or even they wanted it. But it is a shame to see a studio close like that. All right, we are jumping to feet. We have finished most of this top of the kit. Obviously, we don't do the head. We're going to do the head later. But we can start working on the feet, and we can, of course, do those at the same time. Yes. A polycap that I need just fell. So now I need to find that polycap. Like, literally, if all the polycaps to fall off of this, it is one that I desperately need for this build. So that's not great. I got to find that now. So hold on while I see if I can find it. It shouldn't be too hard to find, because I just dropped it. Oh boy. The thing is, it is a polycap, so it is rubberized plastic. And so it might have bounced. But yeah, of all of the polycaps to fall, and all of the times for it to fall, I just picked this up and like, I could feel it. My finger touch one and they fall off. I have no idea where that is. Oh, man. That sucks. This sucks. Because I definitely need that. Not gonna have any other polycaps that are gonna be anything like that. Need it for the foot. Let's see. Very unprofessional. I could like, this is one of those things, like I picked this up and I could feel like something like moving on my finger, and then it just, I could feel it like fall away. And that's somewhere on the floor. So now I'm going to disappear so that I can look for it more. Get down here. You can see my chair. While I go and look for this. Yes. I found it. Hell yeah. It was underneath my footrest. I have a little footrest under here. Just, you know, to lean back. I don't use it for streams. I like having both feet planted on the ground. But for when I'm just kind of relaxing and leaning back in my chair, I have a little thing to put my feet on. And it had fallen under there, and I couldn't see it until I got down on my hands and fucking knees. But anyway, here it is. This is the piece. Now I have them. Now we can keep going. Let's see. What other things we got here? QA folks in Montreal are being laid off from NetEase Games. Looks like they laid off a bunch of staff at the Montreal studio, and this is all social media and LinkedIn. People talking about this impacting workers in QA, senior members of the team. This happened last week, apparently. A round of layoffs. And of course, they laid off a bunch of people with Marvel Rivals already as well. And there was a big talk of like, are they getting out of having an international business? Are they just going to start doing all stuff in-house? And they were like, no, we're committed to make games around the world. And it's like, okay, sure you are. And now we're getting a little bit more evidence that, I mean, they're still doing it, but who knows? And then after that, they closed T-0 Entertainment, which they also owned. It was a Texas-based company. And then Bad Brain Game Studio also got closed. And then they moved a lot of people and laid a lot of people off from Fantastic Pixel Castle. And they have not come as of the time of this stream. NetEase has not responded to game developer with a comment on these layoffs. They have not made a statement, but it's fucking bummer. Man, it's really early in the year. I mean, there's no good time for layoffs, but early in the year, certainly a rough time for it. Is this the right piece? Yeah. Okay. Got that together. And now we got to do the same thing with the other. Got to move my chair in. Let's see. We got a little positive news. Isn't that nice? We could add some positive gaming news. I'm sure you're all ready for a little bit of posy here, if we can get that. Capcom have sold a lot of fucking video games in the last 9 months. They're doing really well, which is great. It's great to have that kind of stuff, right? Record software unit sales over the last 9 months, because their financial report ended in December 31st. They increased 13.5% year on year. Is the highest ever accumulation total unit and catalog unit sales for a 9-month period. So Street Fighter 6 has had 6 million lifetime sales. You know, the disappointing Street Fighter game. The game that people were like, oh, wow, they really dropped the ball on this one. And it sold 6 million copies, which is great. Also, part of that, a little bit of that sales is launching on the Switch 2. Devil May Cry 5 sold a bunch of stuff here. Resident Evil 4 has... This is kind of wild. I'm actually surprised it's this low. Resident Evil 4 has 12.25 million lifetime sales. Resident Evil Village has 13.5 million lifetime sales. More people have bought Resident Evil Village than Resident Evil 4, which is crazy because many people have bought several copies of Resident Evil 4. So it's kind of fucking wild that that is set like that. I was kind of surprised that it's only 12 million, but I guess I should be more surprised that so many people have bought Village. Monster Hunter Rise has 18 million lifetime sales. So those are all sales figures, but it's good that they've done some stuff. So apparently, Devil May Cry 5, they think part of the reason why that sold well is because people liked the Devil May Cry animation on Netflix, which I didn't particularly love myself, but if it didn't really hit with fans of Devil May Cry, I don't necessarily consider myself a huge fan of it, but I have liked the series. It, at very least, it was an advertisement for the games where people who saw the Netflix show were like, huh, all right, well, I'll get one of them, sure, which is great. Apparently they believe that Resident Evil Survival Unit, which is a mobile title, which has 3 million downloads, helped like sell some copies of Resident Evil, which like, yeah, all right, I'll believe that. Resident Evil Requiem is coming out in February. Monster Hunter Stories 3, Twisted Reflection, comes out in March. And the Mega Man Star Force Legacy Collection comes out March 27th. You know, I mean, like, those aren't going to be, I mean, well, at least, like, the collections probably won't be, like, blockbusters, but it is nice to have, you know, collections for modern consoles or what have you. Those can still be good, so. But yeah, they made some good money in the last 9 months. So it's nice that some company is doing okay, right? Like, it's good. If it helps that they put their games on sale for cheap and very often. Yes, even though they still have done very well for themselves. Yeah, they do sales. They are actively trying to get, especially games that have like lots of DLC, right? Like, it's probably easier to put a game on sale when you know you have a bunch of DLC that you might be able to also sell people on. That probably makes it feel less bad that you're putting your main game on sale when you're like, well, we know how many people, we know X number of people will buy DLC, so if we're getting it, you know, whatever. So like they do the math. They got people doing that math. I'm not going to do that math because I don't fucking have to. But yeah, good on them. It's nice to have a bit of good news because some bad news. The 2026 State of the Industry Survey, which a reminder, this is data from the 2026 State of the Game Industry Survey. Let's see. Yeah. This talked to, I got to make this very clear. It talked to people who attended GDC. So that's a small number of developers that it can do that. And then it didn't account for, if there is a threshold in which they don't take your opinion into account, and that is how long you've been outside of the game industry. And you're like, well, Pat, why would people who are not in the game industry go to GDC? These are people that have been laid off for so long and haven't gotten a new job in video games that are at GDC ostensibly to get back into the industry. There were a number of people that take the survey that have been out of the industry so long that the people that do this don't consider them part of the games media or games industry anymore, which is not unfortunately shocking. What we can say is of those surveyed, this is 2,300, which is both a large serving size and also pretty fucking small serving size sample. 2,300 industry professionals. 82% of them support unionization of game industry workers. 13% are unsure, and 5% who are, again, this is also in the U.S., were opposed to unionization. So 5% of 2,300 people were like, nah, which is pretty fucking crazy numbers. That's pretty goddamn crazy numbers to have. 82%. That's wild. Support for unionization was higher among workers earning less than $200,000 per year, and those who had been laid off sometime in the past 2 years. That's right. So if you've been laid off for longer than 2 years, they didn't want to talk to you for this survey because they don't necessarily consider you part of the industry, which is fucked. People under the age of 45 also expressed more support than their older counterparts. All checks out, makes sense. Responders in leadership roles, company owners and executives, weren't quite as convinced. Although 58% of those support unionization, 18% said they oppose, and 24% were unsure about the prospect of collective organization. Which, again, fucking checks out, man. That they're, like, honestly, 58%, that's higher than I would have thought. Now, obviously, anonymized and all that, but, you know, you still think that that's higher than you'd imagine that would be said. 12% of the 2,300 folks that were surveyed are currently part of a union. So even though there's demand or interest was high, actual numbers are low. That includes members of union industry-wide unions at 10% and company unions at 2%, because obviously there are way more people who are part of a union at their like, oh, I'm in this category of worker, I'm part of a national union, more so than our company has fully unionized, which is a small percentage of just development. 62% of respondents are saying they're interested in joining a union. So that's lower than the 80-something% that are like, unions are awesome, I support unions. My assumption is that some of these, again, this is just 2,300 video game developers who went to GDC, who are US based, and who have either are in the industry or have only been out of work for 2 years or less. But there's still a decent percentage that are interested in unionization efforts and joining a union. So that's good. We want that. But yeah, a lot of that shit's bleak. The idea that there are people who have been outside the industry, not from lack of trying, for over 2 years that are going to GDC just to try to get something going. You know, even if they're San Francisco based, that's still fucking crazy and sucks. So hopefully things work out for a lot of people in the industry. Shit's hard out there. I'm not trying to pretend like it isn't. I mentioned that I had some work stuff I was doing. That's data entry stuff. I don't know if I said this already, but last year there was a change in the company that I do freelance for. I'm under contract for doing some work. I'm not a full-time employee or a part-time employee. I'm a contracted worker. So I am not saying they're doing this because of me. But I did, in conversation about halfway through last year, in conversation with my direct supervisor, I was like, well, one thing that's nice about this company is you could, if you wanted to, you could say, if you would like work done by humans, we hire humans. We don't use AI for anything here. We hire humans to do this work. Now, is there AI built into some of the programs we use? Yes, we don't use AI within that. Instead of being like, oh, we use AI, I was like, oh yeah, we don't use AI, and therefore the work is good. And they were like, and it was like, oh, that's really funny. I'm going to tell my manager that, because all she does is complain about AI, and she's so glad that nobody forces her to use AI here. And I was like, hell yeah. So then, in the winter all hands, which I should mention is paid, because I'm a contracted employee, and I, first of all, don't need to be at all hands meetings. Just send me an email. But they do pay contracted people to be at the all hands, which is pleasant. I've been in places before, they were like, look, it's not mandatory, but if you can be there, we'd love it. It's like, oh, fuck off. Okay. It's like, oh, whatever. So at the all hands at the end of last year, somebody I don't particularly know high up in the company was like, so when we're getting new contracts, one of the things we're telling them is, you'll be happy to know that we don't use AI, and we use humans that have all worked for us for a really, really long time, and so that we can guarantee that that your project will look good and make sense. And I was like, ha ha ha, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I said. And again, I can't necessarily take credit for it, that they're now using that as a selling point for their company, but it's true. Now, do we take clients that are trying to sell AI bullshit? Yes, we do. I do not know what the criteria is for clients that they accept and clients they don't accept. I don't know that criteria. That's not my department. I do not know. But I have worked on docs for AI dumb shit. And you'd think, wait a minute, this company is going to revolutionize blank with AI. Wouldn't they want to just use AI to make their deck for their presentation for their client, that or their crowdfunding, their VC funding? You'd think they would, but instead they pay money for a company to do that work for them, who then outsource that to various people, myself included, which is fun. That's a fun little thing. That their selling of AI does not make use of any AI at all, at least in the deck portions. Like, I can't speak for what they do outside of that, but I can tell you, I'm not doing it. Now, do I know for sure that my colleagues are not using AI? I mean, honestly, no, but I don't know. I don't know if there is a program that uses AI that can do deck building for you. When I say deck, I'm talking about like a PowerPoint presentation, that kind of thing. But deck is just the term for that thing. For that, I can't tell you that my colleagues aren't using AI for shortcuts for decks, but I don't know I don't know why you would or how you would. I don't think it would be faster or better. And in this case, again, this would be an optional thing. I mean, for me, that job is just fancy data entry, right? There are two types of jobs, two types of work for this. One job is brand new. It is a new client. We're starting from scratch. They have often a template they want to be used, or they have ideas about what kind of template to use. They have and then there's just a list of, slide 1, this thing looks like this. Slide 2, this thing looks like that. You just go through and make them, sometimes they have notes about transitions. Sometimes they don't want any transitions at all. Sometimes they want a file that is just a video file of it going through them. Sometimes they want the actual deck. Sometimes they want it. It's got to look good in Google Slides. And you're like, okay, sure. I'll make sure it looks good in Google Slides, like that kind of thing. And then there's the most common ones, which is updates. Hey, we need all the 2025s to say 2026. We need January 11th to say January 19th. This information needs to be updated. This slide needs to be deleted. We need to add this other thing. Can you change this into a pie chart? That kind of stuff. And that's most of the work I do because I have been there for a very long time. That I get a lot of, I get offered the stuff I've already done before to just update it, which is very nice of them. But they're like, oh, you did this before, so if you want to go in and make the change there, you can go and do these changes. And so I do that. And then sometimes I do have to do the ones that are from scratch. But yeah, I don't use any AI tools in the making of those or in the updating of them. I just go in by hand, copy paste stuff. I try to copy paste as much as I can technical terms, because sometimes I'll work on something that's pharmaceutical in nature, and those are terms that I've never heard before or seen before, and I know that spell check is going to come up like, what? So I got to make sure I'm pulling the right data from that and in the right place. And then if I have to update anything, making sure that also looks right. That shit is important to do. So I try to do all of that. Is it interesting work? Occasionally. So most of the time it is, I just have YouTube videos on or music playing, and I just kind of get in the zone and do whatever. Or I have like a stream from Jeff Gerstmann on, while I'm working. Or a podcast about wrestling, talking about wrestling. So sometimes I do have to just distract myself because sometimes the work is unbelievably slow and soul crushing. Sometimes it's interesting. Sometimes it's cool and fun. Last year, I'll give you an example. Last year, I did a deck, and it was a council in Canada. It was a local council in Canada that had done. They had hired a company to do research because they were trying to further take your child to work day. In their area. So they had done like a lot of research throughout Canada about productivity and all this stuff. And they were like, even for it's like, we stopped doing take your child to work day during COVID. And even though a bunch of these companies are back to full-time or mostly in the office, we haven't brought it back yet. But we could do it from home. We could do have your kid not go to school, and instead you work from home with your kid and like set up a little desk and whatever and get, like on Zoom and stuff. And it was really cute to have like interview, because there was a lot of like testimonials from kids. So these Canadian kids that were like, I finally know what my dad does because I went and saw him do stuff. And it was just like cute and fun. And I was like, my supervisor, when I had submitted, I just said like, hey, I never say this, but you should look through this doc because it's really cute. Because it was super cute. There was like a bunch of there was a lot of like, graphs and technical stuff and all that. But then there were also just like, there was this kid that just said like, there was a dog in the office and I hung out with the dog all day. I don't know what my dad does. And that was like a quote they included because it was just fucking cute and great. Because it's like, yeah, even if this kid coming to work doesn't have a better understanding of what their parent does, they got to hang out with a dog. Dystopian side of mine came into the conversation thinking you were going to more in the child labor direction of the story. No, dirty. I see why my dad looks like his soul has been drained every workday. Yeah, look, do I think there are probably kids being like, my mom is really unhappy at work? Sure, I bet there is. Or like, it was a really boring day. We didn't get that in this. I'm just trying to give an example of every once in a while, I do one of these deck updates or new decks, and it actually turns out to be cute and fun, and I'm glad that I worked on it. I've had theme park stuff. It was a sanitation report because this like regional theme park in Arizona, I think it was in Flagstaff. There was like a small theme park in Flagstaff, had like the high, like they were approaching Disney levels of clean, like, you know, obviously scale different, but like for local small things, they were like winning they had like, every year they had won awards for like cleanliness or something. And so it was like some group had approached them to like figure out why, and so it was like a lot of that, but it was a lot. I mean, it was all obvious stuff where they're like, yeah, we pay our sanitation employees health benefits, and so they do a better job at work because they are unionized with health benefits. They were like something like the majority of people in the town who were part of a union were people that worked as sanitation workers at that theme park. This is like, oh shit, that's cool. That is a fun fact for me. And then also like, they were like, here is a folder of photos of the attractions and some of our mascots, if you would like to include those in the deck. Which I'll tell you what, I love that when people are like, if you want to do more, like I'm not going to most of the time, but I did because I was like, I'm gonna throw some theme park stuff in here. I'll do a little bit. That one was also, I should say, my rate on that one was good. So I didn't mind doing a little bit more to make that presentation look a little nicer. Because again, it was interesting. Most of the time, it's just data entry, and it's just a boring thing. A company that I cannot, at the end of it, I cannot tell you what the company does or what the deck was about. It's just fucking numbers and graphs, and it's done, and it's fine. Most of the time, that's the case with those things. But once in a while, I get a fun one. Now, do I also think that because I have been there for a very long time and I have a unbelievable good record, and also that my customer satisfaction report is almost perfect, because there's always going to be assholes, but those ones were not my fault. Do I think that I get some of the fun ones? Yes, I do think that my supervisor makes sure that I get some of the good ones. But also, if it's a good one and it's a new client, hey, like, I do good work. I get, repeat business comes in. So, just say it. I don't want to do it. The project I finished today, which was a rush update because they had forgotten to do it. They were like, in December, they said they needed to send that out to get done. And then they didn't because they didn't have the money because they had to wait for January budget. And then they just didn't until yesterday, apparently. So it was a rush job that I had to do. Do I want to keep doing that? No, I don't want to do that. I would love to never have to update a PowerPoint presentation or a Google slideshow presentation or a PDF ever again. It would be great if I didn't have to keep fucking doing that. But I do have to keep fucking doing that. So I will. But if I could, like not, that'd be fucking rad. But what we will do is we'll take a pause for the cause. Like that. You might like that. This is my opportunity, friends, to talk to you about ways that you can support what I do here. I got my headphones got caught. Everything I'm about to talk to you is optional. You don't have to do any of this stuff. But if you wanted to, that would be great. If you are currently a subscriber to the Baer Workshop, you can throw the Bear Cave, the Lego, the site, the Tier 2 blue emote in the chat. Being a subscriber is the easiest way to support what I do here through Cash Money or your Prime Gaming token. You can also gift a sub. We are currently at 25 subscribers. The goal is to get to 30. At 30, I shut up about the number of subscribers I have. And also, it unlocks the first thing in my subathon, which is on February the 6th, which is going to be a week from tomorrow, starting at 3:30 p.m. Eastern. And at 30 subs, I open a box of delightfully useless trivia. And I just include the use because I'll be the judge if they're delightful or not. But yeah, that's a week from tomorrow. So please come for that. But yeah, you can also gift a sub. You could be the first person this month to gift a sub. If you want to get to 30, so I start with the trivia, you could do that. You don't have to. You could. There are other ways to support what I do here. Like joining my Patreon. At patreon.com/PatBear. Over on my Patreon, there's a $1, $3, $5, and $10 tier. There are different rewards to the different tiers. Consider joining me on Patreon. I recently put up a Q&A video. It's the only exclusive content that I make, and it's just for my patrons at all levels. And I answered a question about my favorite music from 2025, and I talked about a bunch of different bands. I talked a lot about music in that, which was great. And I talked about my favorite movies for 2025, because I did actually see a couple movies. I talk a lot about anime all the time. I don't often talk about the music I listen to, so it was nice to be like, Tyler, the Creator, put out a fucking party album, and it whips ass. That's just, Don't Tap the Glass is just a beautiful, lovely, booty-shaking, goddamn party record. And it's my favorite thing of last year. So like you should check that shit out. I did talk a little about some music made by VTubers. I was gonna fucking talk about that. I wasn't not gonna talk about that, so I talked about that. Hero 2, which is a cover done by Elizabeth Rose Bloodflame of the insert song from My Hero Academia, is a unbelievably lovely cover of a song I really like a lot. And Elizabeth has an unbelievable voice, and it was really good. There, I said that there. But anyway, more on that. If you want to join for $1, you could watch that video exclusively on my Patreon. Got the Patreon, got that. Okay, I have a YouTube channel. You could subscribe to my YouTube channel for just $2 for free. And for $2 a month, you can become a member over there. And here's the deal with the memberships. You get my Wednesday videos on Tuesday. So you get them a day ahead. A little something, you can go there. And by being a member on my YouTube channel, you get me closer to hitting the $100 payout that I need to get money out of Google AdSense. So every little bit helps there if you want to jump in there. Those are all monthly ways to support me financially. If you want to just throw a buck in the tip jar, a couple dollars in there, I have a Ko-Fi and a PayPal, and you could do that if you wanted to. Everything I make through direct donations through YouTube, which includes AdSense, so watching my videos helps me out, through Patreon and through Twitch, all goes into a fund, and from that fund, I buy model kits. I've got a good backlog over there of like some tiny stuff that I'm going to build, hopefully build on my subathon stream, but also more complicated kits. I've got a premium Bandai kit of a fairly obscure G Gundam model that I'm amazed got made at all, and then I picked that up. I've got brick kits and all kinds of different things that I'd love to build. Now, here's the thing. The kit I'm currently working on right now, the Gundam Ez-SR, well, that was bought by Lynn off my Amazon wish list. And if you would like to buy something from my wish list for me to build in the future, you could do that, because anything bought on the wish list jumps the queue and becomes the next thing that I work on. So that's why I'm working on this now, is because of Lynn's generosity for buying it for me to build. I've got model kits and Lego sets. I got inexpensive kits. I got expensive kits. You could buy this, the Wing Gundam entry grade. It's a new entry grade kit for the Wing Gundam. That's a good price right now. You can get that. I keep mentioning these. Eventually, I'll just buy one from Blokies. Blokies is a company I've never bought from before, but they have the Transformers license, and they have made like they have like inexpensive and expensive editions. They have Classic and Action. Classic is their cheaper. And I would love to build that. I'd love to see what's going on with Blokies. I believe the Megatron, which is the $40 kit, he sits on a throne. And the accessories that he's not currently wearing can fit in that throne, which is fucking cool. And I want to build that at some point. But yeah, I got model kits and Lego sets and knockoff Lego, other brick kits, all kinds of different things and things. Very expensive stuff that's like, actually not really that expensive considering. Bunch of different things and things. Yeah, if you see something there you'd like to see me put together, you could pick it up and then I'll build it on stream. That's how that works. My alternative to Amazon is I have a wish list on Throne. I recently updated it, so if you'd like to go take a look at that, you could do that. If you don't want to buy stuff via Amazon, I get it. Oops. There we go. And then, if you want to support me financially, but it has to be a weird thing, and it can't just be like an easy way, like subscribing or gifting us up, you could go to USA Gundam Store. At USA Gundam Store, you can buy a gift card. They will send you an email with that gift card code. Then you can send me a whisper on Twitch or a DM on Twitter or Blue Sky or Mastodon with that gift card code. And then I will use that gift card code to buy something from USA Gundam Store. That's how that works. So yeah, consider that if you're looking for something to get into on there. The convoluted many-step way to support me financially. If you want to support me without spending any money, you can join my Discord. I post build photos at the end of every stream. People post stuff they're working on. The Discord is really fun. It is a nice collective of cool people, and I invite you to jump in on the nonsense. It's a nice little community. A couple of video links for you to check out, and then we'll get back to building. I mentioned that I'm going to be recording this weekend a new episode of Pat Bear's Anime Club. The most recent episode that is still available for you to watch is me talking about all of the many Isekai that are out this season. There are 14 TV shows, OVAs, specials, and movies. And I talked about which ones I'm watching, which ones I might end up watching eventually, and which ones I'm definitely not going to fucking watch. Because this not all Fates, but this Fate series is an Isekai, but I don't watch any of the Fates ones except for the one where they're cooking, and it's just a cooking show, and that's a really fun one. That's the only Fate series I've ever watched all of. And then Kuma Baer is my weekly anime recommendation series, and oh boy, I'm very excited to talk about this show. This bridges the gap. It is one of my favorite shows from the fall 2025 season. Also, February is Valentine's month, so it's nice to end January and kind of start February with Yano-kun's Ordinary Days, which is a slow burn romantic comedy anime. One thing that we often say about these high school romance shows is the main character is often kind of milquetoast because they kind of have to be likable, so they can't really do much because maybe they'll do something that the audience would not like. Yano is a good boy that people like, but he also has a lot going on because he is accident prone. He is very unlucky. He might be cursed, and he's just a guy trying his fucking best to do his best, but also to protect other people so that his unluckiness doesn't rub off on them. There's a moment in the show where he has to come to terms with his female friend has a crush on him. And he's never even considered the possibility that that could happen in his short life. It's never occurred to him that someone would be romantically interested in him. And he has to come to terms with that fairly quickly. And it's a little heartbreaking, but you just want the best for the guy. You just want Yano to have a good high school experience. So I highly recommend the show. I think it's delightful. Yano is a good boy, and I want good things for him. And it's a cute show. It's a very cute show. It's slow burn, but it's not. Things happen in it. All right. It's not as fast. It's not like Shigemori's not just a cutie where they're already dating at the beginning of the show, but like you don't get to episode 12 and go, well, when the fuck are they going to start dating? Like, don't worry about that. That's not much of a spoiler, I don't think, because the opening credits kind of give you the hint that, oh yeah, all right. It's lovely. You should check it out. Now, I have other anime to talk about. We'll go into some episodes here. I believe episodes 4 of both shows. Yes, episodes 4 of both shows. We got 2 Isekai BLs. It's so weird that I can say that right now. That is the truth, that we got those. So we'll talk about those. Before that, I need to get back to the overhead camera. I got to drink way more water because I'm parched. And we got to listen to a dramatic song. So let's do that right now. And before I get to building again, John's here. Hey, John. Saying hot Isekai BL winter. Indeed. And John wants me to hit the dance button. So thank you for using your channel points for this song. Oh, yeah. Do 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 do. Boo 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 boo. One thing about this, one thing that is very cool about this kit is it doesn't have undergating, which the real grade that we worked on had a lot of it. It felt like it was mostly undergating. So every once in a while there's like a nubbin that I have to take off here, but it's not as heinous as that wing real grade, which, to be fair, that wing real grade is fucking gorgeous looking. It's really good. It's a really good kit, but it is nice to have something that is a little easier to build. RG undergating is a real pain in the ass. Indeed, the nubbins. The thing is, because like you can say like, oh well, you just leave them on. Well, no, because when you're trying to like put two pieces together, and they should line up perfectly, but then there's like this little extra nubbin in there, and then you're like, fuck, I didn't get that one. And you got to get in there and try to file it away or take the piece apart, and it gets bad. If you leave them, it breaks the model. Yeah, I mean, it just like, it doesn't work. You have to remove them, and it is a pain in the ass. And there's always this time where you're just missing one. And of course, it doesn't help that I'm doing it while streaming, which is, hey, in the same way that your favorite video game streamer probably does better shooting that guy when they're not streaming, or they play Marvel Rivals at a higher level when they're not streaming in front of people. On the rare instances where I build model kits on my own fucking damn time, I go a lot faster than I do when I am streaming for people. Now, do I do a lot of model kit building these days on my own? No, because I can't really afford to do that. But every once in a while, I'll take a bunch of Legos that haven't gone out for donation. I'll take a bunch of Legos and just kind of mess around. I do that now and again just for fun. Which is nice and not the same thing again, but it is fun to do. But I missed one of the leg assembly and spent 30 minutes taking it apart and rebuilding it. Yep, there you go. Yeah, that'll happen, John. Yeah, that will happen with those. All right, let's talk about some Isekai. We got Isekai Office Worker, The Other World's Books Depend on the Bean Counter, and A Gentle Noble's Vacation Recommendation. One of these is unbelievably adult-oriented boys love. The other is, this show only features guys, and they're all pretty boys and different kinds of pretty boy. Are they having sex off screen? Are they like are they getting into committed relationships? What's going on here? Again, different vibes. Both boys love, both very clearly queer. It's just different kinds of presentations of similar things. All right, we have more. We're just doing parts of these legs that we can do together here, so we'll get into that. Let's talk about the overtly gay show. Sachirio, sorry, not Ryu. Our main guy, at the end of the last episode, he got attacked by 3 people, which obviously fucking sucks. He's supposed to be working on the budget that is going to send Yua, who is the girl that was supposed to be summoned. He got suckered in. He got accidentally summoned along with her. So he gets attacked. There's a bunch of other stuff. We'll get to that when it happens. So he gets attacked. Camille finds him. And Camille is just like, all right, we need to send him to the doctor. We'll get him all checked out. And Aresh is like, I got this. I'm gonna treat him. Which is like, what? Now, so the thing is, this show works under slash fiction rules. So in this world, everyone is born with mana, and so they adapt to having mana in their bodies, and everything's okay. When Yua got summoned, she was part of a special summon. Her body adapted to magic, so she can use magic, and also being around magic doesn't bother her. That is not the case with our guy. Sachirio does not have mana capacity. He's not used to it. In fact, just by taking what he was treating like an energy drink, which was just a potion, he was poisoning himself with mana. So healing magic is going to heal him, but also poison him. And the solution for that is direct, intimate contact with someone to feed him mana that he can absorb properly. And again, because this is basically like works under slash fiction rules, the best way to do that is through sexual contact. Is Aresh catching feelings? 100%. He is 100% falling for our guy. And this is just like his way of doing it. Like 100%. Is it to save some embarrassment? Is it to protect him? Because people shouldn't find out that he can't really accept mana. It's possible, but also it's that. So they have to have sex so they can use the he can stop the magic sickness that is killing him while he is healing him from his injuries from getting beat up. We find out who attacked him. It's soldiers from the Third Order, because remember, he's been cleaning up. Part of the things he's been cleaning up with the budget is people that just like corrupt officials that asked for money they didn't really need, and that then were getting passed along and kind of through the cracks. And so he's been cleaning that shit up. So it was apparently 2 people from an order that had made a lot of bullshit requests that he rejected, and so they were, I guess, taking out on him. Let's see, I need A11, okay, and A21. And then also the third guy was one of Yua's bodyguards. Yua was the girl. Now, Yua, for a while, had been coming because they're both from the same world, and he's older. She'd been coming to him for advice, and he was like trying to warn her, because like, hey, we were summoned here against our will. You got to be careful. Like, I know you get swept up because the prince is noticing you and all that, but you got to be careful. She got mad about that, but because she was coming to him, a guy that had a crush on her had already like accused him of like fancying Yua and trying to ruin things or whatever. So that guy is, so one of the guys that attacked him is her bodyguard. So that's just like, what the fuck? The commander of the Second Order punished them. for the attack. Aresh makes sure that shit happens. They get suspended, restraining orders are put on them, and they have to forfeit a year's salary, and they have to pay compensation to our guy. And he's like, this is crazy, but this is a good indication of who this dude is, who this character is. The thing he's most excited about is that forfeiting their salaries means that he's going to be under budget because they had to like come up with the funds to go to do an expedition to the demon forest for Yua. And he's like, oh, great, we're ahead of schedule now because of that. Like, not satisfied with the punishment they were getting for attacking him for their dumb bullshit, but like, oh, cool, now we're ahead of schedule. Like, it's very much this bean counter boy. Like, he is, I fully believe he is taking at face value, oh, you have sex with me in order to protect me, and that not thinking there's anything more there. He's literally just like, oh, that's cool. Okay, well, it's weird, but all right. He's too office worker pilled. Yes, John, as he said himself, the reason why he got offered just a life of luxury, but he doesn't feel like he's himself if he's not working. Like, that's he's got a problem. Like, he only feels accomplishment when he accomplishes things. It's not good. We'll say that. These aren't good things that he's dealing with, or that, or in a sense not dealing with. Yeah, they're not good, but they are the truth of the character. So let's see. I need one of these, and I need another one of these. Top and bottom. Put them there so I don't mix up the order. Top and bottom. And then I need... oh, this is going to be a one-time job. So these I pulled out. I don't need these yet, but I will in the future. I'm going to put them over here, and hopefully I don't knock them to the floor again. But we can put this aside. We can put this aside. We can put these aside. We're going to need these. We can start working on the leg here. Now we're just doing an individual leg. We're going to do A127, A125. So they're ahead of schedule, and so also he's going to use the money to pay Aresh for treatments, because Aresh has been, healing him, of course, and while Aresh might not feel it's transactional, that's not the case. That is, so eventually he's just like, he has to talk him into it. Eventually he's just like, okay, it's like, well, no, you do work and you get paid for the work you do, and that's, whatever. But of course, Aresh doesn't necessarily feel that way. That's not his deal. So our guy, Sujiro, agrees to have the anti-magic barrier, because that's the general idea, is like, hey, like, this is going to keep being a problem, but if you have a barrier around you, it will be less of a problem consistently. All right, so I got to do a little one on top here, and it will make life easier. But of course, that's got to be applied over time with lots of bare skin contact. So now, so oh no, they're gonna have to do it a lot. Oh no. Meanwhile, the king is like, hey, we're sending the girl we summoned, the saintess that we summoned, we're sending her out to Demon Forest. We gotta have a party to send her off in style. And our guy immediately is like, oh no, my new budget. Oh no, it's all gonna go to that. Oh God. So he's like freaked out about that. But he doesn't even have, he can't even work on the project. He can't even like try to figure out how to deal with that, because he's got a bunch of maids have shown up to cure his appearance, which is apparently unhealthy. Basically, they just, because there's a big party, they just send they sick a bunch of maids to like clean him up and make him presentable. And then at the party or the banquet, Aresh is like into the new look. He's shocked by the new look. So we'll see how that goes. Again, as someone who prides himself on being able to understand social cues, despite all of the evidence to the contrary that I would not be good at that, I'm pretty fucking good at reading people and understanding social situations. So it's very funny to see a guy that I, in some ways, really relate to, but not in that way. It's fun for me to like be like, oh yeah, man, you're gonna have to actually talk to him because he's not gonna he's not gonna figure this shit out. Sorry, my guy. Like, you know, you might have to actually tell him what's up. He's not gonna be picking it up or understanding. I think it's really good. And then I consider it to be kind of fucking wild that this show has an anime adaptation and is out there and is so fucking explicit in its content. Whoops. Oh no. Oh no. God damn it. What is my fucking what is my polycap luck today? This one's going to be even harder to find because I don't know where it went. There's a little piece that goes on the back here that this clips into. There's a little polycap that goes in there, and this clips into that. And then it popped out, and then I saw it skitter away, and I believe it fell. But I have no idea where that went. The other one was at least for a polycap kind of big. This one is tiny. Oh, is that it? No. I thought I saw it. I'm gonna stand up here and see if it fell. Did it fall where I was sitting? That would be great if it did. It didn't. Yeah, I have no idea where that's going to be. All right. The other one, you don't have that wonky woolly carpet. No, it's not. It's a tiny little gray piece that's going to be hard to find. So it's the idea is you want it to be able to wobble. Now this feels like it wobbles too much and falls out like that. So what I might end up doing is just liquid cementing it like this, so that it doesn't have any give anymore. So I'm probably just going to do that. We'll just let's see. There aren't going to be. Ooh, there is. See, there's one here which I'm tempted to use. You know what? Let me see. Do I have to use that for something else? I probably have to use that for something else. Like, I don't think that's an extra. If that's an extra, that would be great. Let's look at the polycap. There are some polycaps that we don't use. This is polycap 8. No, I think I have to use. Is that an extra? No. I think we use all three. No, actually, it looks like one of these we don't use. If I'm reading this right, there's one of these we don't use, which would be really lucky. So what I'll say is this: I'm going to use this now. I'm not gonna do liquid cement. I'm going to pull this piece out now. If I am borrowing from the future, I will handle that, because hopefully I will find it, because tomorrow I'm going to take all this down anyway. And so hopefully I'll be able to find that little polycap. But if not, I can solve that problem later, or I can just pull it out and just do the glue. Future Pat will figure this one out. Yeah. Well, if I have to, what I can always just do is I'll just deal with it later. What I'm going to do instead is kind of lock this in here. I'm going to put a little bit of liquid cement on this, because I can always just take the piece off. I can take the other one off and Just pop that in. So then we're just going to put this in here like this. It should hold in there. Yeah, and if I have to, I'll just take the other one and do that on the other one. I'll take it off this and pull that out and use it. But I think they just happen to have an extra one because they make these sheets and sometimes they don't need it for everything, which is great for me. All right, so where was I? I was here. I was working on a leg. So we got to do, this piece has got to go here. Again, a lot of this is just the Easy 8 with some extra new pieces in it. It goes in there, and that goes there. Okay. So yeah, I could just glue this together, but we'll put it on there for now and leave it. And like I said, I am going to be cleaning this room out when I move a bunch of stuff out there. I should run into it, and if I needed that piece and I fucked up, then I will fix my own problem in the future. Make it work out. All right, let's talk about the other isekai that I want to chat with you about tonight, which is A Gentle Noble's Vacation Recommendation. This one is also a boys' love, but it is much more like, oh, this show just happens to have a lot of guys in it who are casually mostly interested in Lysel, our main character. Lysel is from a different fantasy world, so he's adapting pretty well. His magic is guns. The main characters we need to know are Gil, who is an adventurer who always worked solo, but now is partnering with Lysel. And they made a friend with a merchant named Judge, who sells a lot of moving paintings. They're basically like projection movies of stuff. So that they have struck up a friendship. Basically, like I love it. The previous episode, Judge was just like, "Hey, I like your vibe. We're gonna be good friends." And then our guy was like, "Yeah, all right. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we will." So they're traveling. They're going to the M Arcade, or Marcade, I should say, Marcade. Let's see. Judge talks about it. There was a merchant who became he became incredibly influential, so much so that he got made the Lord of Marcade. But he was the previous Lord. Now it's his grandchild. But he rarely appears in public. A bunch of people don't know what he looks like. He's mysterious. There's some stuff going on. So, a thug shows up, a random thug shows up, because he thinks that Lysel, who does look like a fancy to-do person, is the Lord, who apparently ruined this guy's business. And instead of like defending himself, Lysel does what Lysel does best. He just antagonizes his opponent to figure out their weaknesses, and basically through antagonizing him reveals this guy, like, yeah, the Lord ruined your shady, shitty business because you're a bad merchant. Like, no one gives a shit, my guy. You fucked up. And you can't admit that, so you're blaming other people. Like, that's basically the extent of it. But it is just like, Lysel doesn't need to be doing this shit, but he is doing this shit. And it's, I don't know, I think it's pretty funny that he's just like, you're the fucking problem. The police show up to arrest him, and And Lysel is like, well, yeah, I mean, I wanted to get people's attention. That's why instead of us just handling it, I wanted to, have the police and do all that because, nobody knows us in this town. And also, while he's been doing all this, he notices a figure in the shadows and approaches them and hands over a letter of introduction from Ray, from his starting town, basically, because Lysel is convinced that this person is the lord of the area. And apparently, the letter, and of course, this guy's name is Shadow, which is very funny that he kicks the shadows and his fucking name is Shadow. I assume it's not his real name. But he is like, the letter from Ray is basically just like, hey, this guy's going to be coming. Just so you know, you do not want to make him your enemy. It would be in your best interest to just give this guy some wide berth, and not mess with him. And then Lysel is like apparently Lysel's plan was to annoy this guy enough to be like memorable to him. So that was the whole idea of exposing him and its location and all that was just like, oh, this will be funny if I do this. But apparently Shadow had a guard nearby and Lysel didn't notice him. So there is magic that Lysel can't see through. This guy is pretty perfect, but he can't see that. And Gil is like, yeah, man, that guy means business. So you got to be careful. Like Gil recognizes, that's a dangerous person, which makes sense. This guy wants to like rule from the shadows, and so he's got protection. Let's see. They meet back up with Judge, and the police earlier are like, are talking to him, and they're like, we need a statement. And they're like very insistent that Lysel give them a statement and let them know what happened, even though it's late and they could just do it tomorrow. And Lysel's like, all right, someone is pressuring this to get like wrapped up. Like this is clearly a thing that is happening right now. Like somebody wants this to get like swept and dealt with. And they're like, look, somebody like this person, even though they got it wrong and you're not the Lord, somebody tried to attack our boss. So like, yeah, man, we need to be thorough about this. And we also need to like deal with it quietly. So yeah, Lysel, even if he couldn't see the guy, the bodyguard, he's still getting one up on other people. He's still reading people pretty well. This was a fine episode. I like that Lysel uses his head instead of his magic ability being guns. We saw that in the last episode, so we didn't see it there. This show just keeps introducing men that are attractive. Like, it's almost like this show, and that's all there's going on in this show. This continues to be fluff, but it's fluff that I think is good and fun. I'm enjoying the fluff. I think this is a romp of a show. I'm still having a very good time with it. That is, of course, a Gentle Noble's Vacation recommendation. It's still working for me, friends. It's still doing the things. All right, we are done with a leg, which is great. We're now going to work on the other leg, which eventually will have a sticker. It's our first sticker of the kit, because these are asymmetrical legs. If you're like, Pat, there should be something there, right? Well, that depends on which of the three kits we're doing, what goes there, which of the three finishes we're going to do. So right now it's Baer, but then later there will be things that go there. We have some time left in the stream for us to chat, so I want to hear from you, friends. I'm going to actually wheel my chair in here. What are you working on right now? What are you up to? What are you into? What do you got going on? I love hearing from you about that stuff. This is your chance to let me know in the chat. While I give you time for that, I'll say I am almost done. I have done everything but one thing in the Nuka World DLC for Fallout 4. I have a companion who is a mod companion. She's not part of the vanilla game. And she wants to go to every site in the in Nuka World. She wants to travel. It's one of those things where like, oh, instead of just doing it, now you're doing it because your companion wants you to go do it. So it's like, it adds a little bit, and I'm like, that's kind of fun. That's kind of fun flavor. But we have to go to Kitty Kingdom, which is the one I like the least because it's painted up feral ghouls. And so you got to go around shooting a bunch of ghouls, and I'm not it's not my favorite. There is a fun story along in the background of it, and there is some unique weapons you can get. And also, I do know how to do the good ending for it. I just have to go and get the holotape I need for the good ending. It's a sad ending, but there's a quote-unquote good ending for it where you don't have to fight a guy and destroy him, which is nice. It's nice that you don't have to wreck a dude. But yeah, I have to do all that. Deal with a magic ghoul, which is a fun concept, but it's my least favorite of the nonsense at Nuka World. But I got to go to the town and find a holotape, and then I can make the endings of that work better. So I've been doing that. I've been going around in Nuka World. She also, this character wants to go to Far Harbor, which is a DLC I don't like, but we'll go and do the quest with her, I guess, just to do it. But I'm not particularly enticed about that because I just don't like that DLC much at all. But yeah, I'm still having fun with all those mods, and I don't know how much I'll be playing it out once, if we do get, because like I said, I don't know. We might not get to that number of subs. I would need to hit 70 subs in order to do the tour. But here's the thing. I'll say this: if I don't hit that, I will probably at the end of February, like I don't know when, but sometime in the end of February, I will probably do a tour, just because of just, I'll do a stream that is looking at the Fallout stuff. I'll probably do it at some point anyway, just to do it. But I hope we do get there because it'll be fun to do that with some people. I have had fun going in. It was nice getting the creative collection, getting the 10mm silenced weapon, the T60 weapon. That's been nice to have. There's a weird glitch in my game, though. I'll talk about it, when we get there in the stream and all that. But there's a weird glitch in my game where, and I can't figure out what mod it is, or it might not be a mod at all. It might just be something else that's doing it. But I can't properly fast travel unless I am in. If I am in power armor, then fast travel works perfectly. And if it doesn't, if I'm not in power armor, when I go on the map, I have to click 100 times on the thing I want to fast travel to make it work. And I don't know why, and I can't figure it out. But it clearly is some sort of fucking glitch. But the solution is to wear power armor. So I'm just doing a run where I wear power armor all the time, which is not the worst problem. I would describe this as a fine solution to a problem because I don't mind running around power armor. It's not my ideal choice. I'd prefer to not necessarily, if I could avoid it, I wouldn't just use power armor the whole fucking time, but I don't hate it. I'm running around in my T45 Minutemen painted power armor while wearing the Minutemen commander or general costume. So I think that is funny that I'm in my fucking Minutemen shit. I was doing covert missions for the railroad wearing Minutemen power armor. This is very stupid. Very dumb. So much so that there is a character who is has like an NPC that has like background dialogue of like, I hope you change before you go on missions, which was very funny to me. It's like, nah, dude, I don't. I'm just rolling around in this gear, and if people notice me, they notice me. It is what it is. All right, E17, and then there is a sticker that needs to go on this, which will be the first sticker of this build. Wild. Okay. And that is sticker 14. Luckily, there's the numbers on the sticker. But yeah, if anybody wants to write in chat what they've been up to, what they got up to this week, or plans you have for the weekend. It's gonna snow here on Saturday, so that's wild. So I'm not really going to do much. I mean, obviously, a big part of what I'm going to do is be moving some stuff into the Carolina room and setting that up. But yeah, Saturday, light snow in the evening. So while I'm streaming on Saturday working on model kits, there's going to be a pretty good chance we're going to get snow flurries Saturday. Light snow. They pulled back on how much snow we're going to be getting, so I'll take the light snow. I think that's perfectly okay. All right, what sticker do I need? 14. 14 is this one here. Okay. All right, sticker 14. Nice and easy. Just goes on here. Lashbrook says, sorry, not Lashbrook, sorry. Lord Crashington says, I was playing some Fallout 4 on PS5, and I could get it to consistently crash by clicking around too much in the Creator Club menus, though I also had some of the free items I owned refused to download. That seems like typical Bethesda bug. Yes. Lord Crashington, I've seen a bunch of issues with people saying with the Creation Club. I only have one thing that I've gotten to the Creation Club because I'm playing on PC, which is it was 100 credits or whatever, which was the T60 gun, is the Brotherhood of Steel gun from Fallout TV show. And I wanted that because you can silence it, and I wanted a better silenced weapon than the Deliverer, which is a good silenced weapon, but I feel like it's a good lightweight weapon, but I feel like it's not stealthy enough. And so now I got a cool looking stealth gun. Lord Crash says, I just play some of it and was trying to finish some quests I had. I found out that involves the heist from the wife of the guy you beat up in the bar that ended up with her aggroing her. And then it bugged more to send Nick Valentine to one of my sanctuaries, and then everybody bugged out and attacked. Yeah, I avoid all of that. So there's like a guy whose wife is cheating on him, and then there's a bunch of outcomes you can do, and I just never go into that bar. It's weird. I'm like, I have a house in Diamond City. I've helped out everyone. I've done every side quest in Diamond City except anything in that bar. I never go to the fancy bar. I never interact with any of those characters because, like, it just goes south. The Linda Carter NPC bar, yeah. You had autosaves to get out of it. Nice. Yeah, I don't know how to help you there, Lord Crash. But yeah, I just avoid that quest line because I don't particularly care for that quest line. There are quest lines in that game that I just never interact with because they're just side quests that I don't particularly care about. Like, I never go and talk to Hancock because he wants me to, like, kill some trigger men he doesn't like. I don't care about that. I don't care about you, Hancock. I'm not going to go help out Two-Nose with a bank robbery or whatever. I'm not going to go bust out a guy out of jail. Like, that's not the playthrough I want to be doing, so I don't do that playthrough. This is on upside down. Yeah, I never go and help Hancock. I never help the Brotherhood of Steel I occasionally will help them. Will help the people like kill all of the in the Camden police. I will help them kill all the ghouls that are attacking them, the ferals. But I don't further help them because I'm just like, nah, I'm good. Help out this brotherhood still sucks. I never get on the Pridwin. I never meet any of those people. I have never, in all of my playthroughs of Fallout 4, I have never once gotten the synth companion by doing work for the Institute, and when they give you a companion who is a synth, a courser, and I'm like, never fucking worked with him. I've never met him. I do not know that man. I have never worked with him. I have hung out sometimes with Strong because it's kind of fun to have a companion that it's very funny to have like a companion whose side quest is someday I'm going to get this power and then I'm going to kill you. Like we're never going to get there. Like I'm never going to help him like to the point where he kills me because it doesn't exist. He's chasing a physical thing, which is a metaphor, but it is very funny to roll around the guy that someday is just going to want to murk you. Like, that's kind of funny. I've also never hung out with McCready. I don't know why I would. Maybe I will someday. I was going to people's houses and I have keys, but I have no clue why I had them. I think I killed people in the bar fight and then I found one of the guys dead elsewhere in the city with a dead triggerman nearby. Weird stuff. Yeah. Well, like, you're involved in a whole, like, drug smuggling operation, basically. Basically. That's basically what you're doing. John is reading 12 Months and recently watched No Other Choice. Amazing movie. I've heard very good things. Haven't seen it, but I've heard very good things. Lashberg says, I read through all of Silver Spoon, and it was unsurprisingly really good, but it's one of those mangas where everyone graduates high school and they go well by and left a bunch of stories they could have told on the table. I finally finished the Forbidden Solitary demo, and it's a fun solitaire that nails 90% 90s PC games aesthetic. They dither the hell out of the opening cinematic, and I love that. Nice. Did I try to put this together wrong? No, this is correct. This goes like this. Okay, so this goes like this, which means that this goes like this. Why isn't this going in? It goes in like that. Yeah, that's about as far as it goes. Okay, so it just goes like that. And then this needs to go like this. There we go. Okay, that's together. That, for some reason, was fighting me. I don't know why. Okay. We'll panel line this on Saturday, but we got the legs done. We got the arms and legs done, which is pretty great. Obviously, we haven't done this piece because we got to wait to do that at the end. But that is going to do it for tonight's stream. I will be back on Saturday. I will be in a different location, but because of the background remover, you won't know. I mean, you might know because the lighting will be slightly different, probably, because this is the way it works. That'll be slightly different. Just the lighting that's appearing on me will be different. There's no way around that. And my camera I'll have to adjust it because I won't be on carpet. I'll just be on tile. So theoretically, the table will be a little lower than my chair. So I'll have to adjust things as I go. But for the most part, it'll be the same. Dirty finished DQ1 and the 7 reimagined demo, which is cool when the final save of the demo carries over. You started DK2, just noticed the ceiling fan has stopped, which explains the burnt ozone smell from earlier. Okay, yeah. That's a bummer, but yeah, at least you know why that smell was there, because it was your fan dying out. That's a shame. Well, good luck with that. And good luck to all of you. I will be back on Saturday in a new location. But tonight, what's going to happen is we are going to raid. That is how we end every stream around here. We're going to go find somebody doing cool shit and go spend some time with them. And then I'm going to go eat a bagel. Let's see. How long has my friend here been going? We always end with the raid, as John says, indeed. How long is... 2 hours. They're probably not... They're probably going to wrap up. Meanwhile, I don't know how much longer he's going here, but let's go hang out with Arthur Geese, because we haven't raided Arthur in a while. Arthur's playing Cairn, the mountain climbing one. I don't know how to pronounce it, but he's doing it. Let's go raid Arthur, see what that game is about. I want to thank you all so much for joining me tonight. I hope you will come back on Saturday. The second one. Thank you, Lord Crashington. We're going to raid, but yeah, hope you come back. I hope you have a great weekend. Stay warm out there, or stay cool, depending. I'll see you soon. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye. Goodbye, goodbye. Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye. Goodbye, goodbye.